The motion on the minutes.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We opposed? Daniel Bozine. Yeah, I can get that. Go down. The place was the only place.
Yes, I'm very,
20.
very embarrassed by that.
Person work for you anymore?
No, Joseph Berry, we let him go actually that night, so about an hour after the shop. Our company policy is to card anybody that appears to be under 40 and has to have a digital record in the register system.
Okay. Do you have a motion?
Move place on file, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
You opposed? Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Sheila Heineck. Heineck.
Not here.
Kayla Spreadman.
Okay. We're gonna hold it, yeah, we're gonna hold it.
Sheila's with me.
Okay. Down here. Okay, this is bartender's license?
Correct.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
on your application, you put down your possession
Correct.
charge. But in the record, it comes back as manufactured delivery.
That was the current the charge that they were, but it was pled out in court for possession. I was 16 at the time when it happened.
And we're talking about marijuana or?
Correct.
And what was the amount?
It was equivalent to a 5-sack. I'm not sure. I was underage at the time. I don't know the
5-stack?
sack.
Five
That's
sack?
that's what the detective referred to it as. I'm not quite sure. It's a small amount.
Is it in baggies or something
Yeah.
like that? How many baggies were there?
Just one. It was a small amount.
Was it not separated into corner cuts yet?
No.
Mr. Chairman.
Alderman Singstack.
Michaela, you intend to work at the Rock Star Saloon.
Correct.
How long has the Rock Star Saloon been in your district?
Been there a
long
while.
time?
Well, not super long, but it's been there. We rarely have any problems with the place, and we don't want them.
And Michaela, we do give you credit for being relatively candid. You did indicate what happened back in your younger years, and there's nothing on your record about any violation involving intoxicants. So, having said that, one of the members of this committee may go into a little bit of what our council looks to, but subject of following him. I'll make a motion out to approve.
A second.
Second.
And then, Alderman Weigel?
Before you do
Let's go through the lecture.
Before you do the lecture,
if I can ask a couple questions. Just to clarify, 2004 was a possession.
Correct.
2005 was manufacturing.
I've only
But
had-
they amended that to the possession of THC. Is that correct?
Correct.
So 2004 was a possession charge. That was dismissed. So technically, you have, even though it's showing 3 things, you actually only have 1 thing, and that is ended up to be the 2005 possession of THC. Am I reading that correct?
It should be 2. The 04 one, it looks like maybe she completed because she was a juvenile at the time. Maybe there was some sort of deferred prosecution
So it was
agreement.
dismissed.
Right. The second one is she was originally charged with manufacturing, delivering, and then it was amended to possession of THC. So there's 2 separate charges.
All right, 2 separate charges, but one was dismissed, which leaves us technically to the one in 8 years ago. All right.
Okay, Alderman Weigel? Do you have something to say?
Speech time.
So this is going to be for everybody else applying for a bartending job here tonight also. We expect bartenders to be allies with the community. We don't want you helping people have problems. When you see something wrong, call the police. I guess I'm not familiar enough with Rockstar Saloon to know what their policies are. But clearly if something bad is going on in the police, and you do call the police, we'd encourage you to do that. And when they show up, we want you to be able to point to the problem, give a good description of what's going on. We don't want you covering up anything. We expect you to be our allies in helping us solve problems. We've had cases in the past where it's been just the opposite. Also, when there's a problem in the bar, we expect you to call police. There are times when people show up at the hospital or the police department with a black eye or needing stitches and say, I was in a bar fight, and the bartender seems to not know what was going on when the police go in. You need to know what's going on when you're working, when you're behind the bar. We're going to hold you responsible. We also, you saw we just had a gentleman from a gas station here. We do these undercover, underage sting things. We do it for tobacco quite a bit, but there will be occasion will the police officer send in somebody not 21 years old to buy. So, and I don't know if you heard what just happened just now. This previous gentleman said the guy that got caught selling cigarettes to somebody not 18 lost his job immediately over it. That's their policy. I like that policy. You know, I don't know what your boss is going to say about you. If you get caught serving minors, I know it's pretty consistent that most bars would make the bartender pay the ticket. Okay, $300 ticket. I think at the state fair it's $300. I don't know what it is.
And the owner receives the same fine.
I think
believe.
that's about right, like $303.
Yeah. So card people.
Yes.
I think that's all I have.
Anything further? And all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Now it goes to the council, the 2 weeks? I think 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, pardon me? Yeah, 2 weeks. And the entire council votes on it before you can get it. And then it'll be available the day after that. What are we talking about? Talking November 5th? So it'll be available November 6th at what time?
Between 10 and 3,
Okay.
then we put it in the mail.
Otherwise it's mailed. Thank you.
Julie Peloton.
Okay, this is another new applicant, and we'll be working at Larry Michaels.
That's correct.
Mr. Chairman.
Owen Singstock.
Julie, question I asked you when you made that application out involved being ticketed, arrested, convicted, fined. You did indicate that you did have one DUI, and that was back, you indicated 2006. But you did have two of them, I believe.
There was one before that, correct.
Okay, but there's one there. So you're half up front with us. You should really put everything down that has impacted the history, because that's what we take a look at in terms of what happens. At least my personal approach on these is, if you had a third one, I'm not so sure I could support you tonight. You had one 9 years ago, and you had one 6 years ago. After that 2007 OWI, there were a few incidents where you were driving without the proper authority to drive on the roads in Wisconsin, and that goes to responsibility. There's nothing else other than that, and those were a number of years ago. So I am going to support you on those two. Does Larry Michaels know that you have these two violations?
He's right there.
Okay, Larry knows that. So with that, I move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Good night.
Stephen Glazer.
Okay. Another new applicant for Double B's Barbecue. Right across the street over here. Okay, where's our police report here? Hang on a second. Have you ever bartended in the city before?
Not in West Allis, no.
No. Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel?
Steve, you put down that you have a felony burglary conviction.
Correct.
Do you want to tell us what that was about?
Mixed up with the wrong people at the wrong time when I was younger. I was 18 years old. Decided to steal a safe from a previous employer. That's it.
So this was like something you did in your workplace, or your?
Yes. I no longer worked there. It was the general manager at the time still worked there. I was with him when he decided that was a good idea, and I went along with it.
That was the. Are these other things related to that? I see opening letters without consent, theft of movable property
Theft of movable property was.
They have different violation dates, so it
Oh, I
couldn't
see.
be
Well,
in different cities.
Oh, I see, because one, New Berlin. So the burglar was in Brookfield,
Correct.
and where was the theft of movable property? It says New Berlin.
That would have been as a minor. That would have been on there. I didn't put anything on there. It was regarding minor.
Well, it shows up on your record, just so you know.
No, I know. But,
And what was the nature of the business you were working at the time?
at that time was a restaurant in the mall.
Okay, that was the burglary?
Correct.
Does Scott know about this?
Yes, he does. I actually brought it up myself.
Alderman Barson?
Mr. Chairman, okay, that 2003 was the theft of movable property. 2004 probation violation, that probably was on that. But then now we get to 2004 and there's another burglary. What happened?
Well, the burglary, the probation violation was the burglary.
So you were on probation?
Correct, at the time.
For the theft?
Yes, at the time.
Because you were charged in state court?
What was that?
You were charged in state court?
Yes.
then? Okay.
So, I'm just trying to get all this. So, if we look down, as you look down, 12, 11, okay, and then straight down, the next four things are all related to the same incident?
No. What happens on December 11th was when looks like he was convicted of the theft of movable property and opening letters without consent. He was placed on probation. He had some sort of violation in January of 14. I'm not sure what that was. You must have violated some sort of condition.
Okay.
Do you remember what the condition was?
Not offhand, not that I can think of, no.
So whatever that was, either he got some sort of alternative to revocation at that point, where maybe they sent him to treatment or something like that. And then he was still on probation in November 18th when he did the burglary. That's also considered a probation violation because he was on probation at the time when he picked up that new offense.
So that is a second violation there.
Yeah, there are two definite probation violations.
So what was stolen on the second one? What'd you get nailed
I
for?
don't know what the first probation violation was.
That was the theft of the safe.
No, that was the second violation. The first probation violation might have not been a theft. When you're on probation, you have certain conditions you have to follow, like some of them are absolute sobriety, having no contact with somebody. So he might have done one of those. I don't know what it would have been. He doesn't appear to remember either.
So just to clarify, so those four things are all related to the one thing?
No.
No, three things.
I'm trying to find out where the second theft is.
He had a theft.
What did he do? He stole the safe?
The safe?
That was second.
The safe was from the burglary in Brookfield.
Okay.
The theft of, what did you steal the movable property? Was it the letters?
I think it was letters.
And that was the ones you opened without consent?
Correct.
Whose letters were they?
It was a neighbor's I had received in my mailbox, and I opened it. That's literally what it was.
And you never obviously you took those letters and
Correct.
never gave them back?
Correct.
And then you were placed on probation for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel?
And I guess, why is this a felony? Are all burglaries felonies?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I didn't know that.
I didn't know.
Okay, do I have a motion?
And the owner knows about, or Mr. Chair, and the owner knows about
I
all
put
this
it on my
stuff.
application during the first interview. Nobody brought it up. I specifically brought it up myself because I've had people in the past where they don't ask me about it, and then they go through deliberations, and then I never get to tell my side of the story, so I always lead with that.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel?
have you bartended you have bartending
Yep, I
experience?
currently have a bartending license in Waukesha. I've held one in Pewaukee.
And what places have you worked
The last place I was at was in Lucky Rabbit out in downtown Waukesha. I also was GM of a restaurant in Hales Corners called Vin McGuire's. And I held one for them.
Is this going to be a full-time job for you?
Yes, it is. It
So
is my
you have
full-time.
You have no job right now?
Correct. I will be managing Double B's.
Do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Thank you.
Good luck.
Jeffrey Strang. Jeffrey over here.
Jeffrey is here?
Jeffrey?
Okay, we'll hold that too.
Ashley Ambles.
Okay, another new bartender's license at the Drunken Duck. Let's see, OWI.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
Ashley, you know why you're called in here?
Because of the...
Because of the OWI.
Yeah.
And I think you heard what we've been telling people previously. We want you to, you're gonna have to make good decisions for your customers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, I think that's really all I have.
What's the question? What's the child abuse case that you arrested for in July? What happened with that?
That was all my husband. I was just there because they had to prove me not guilty. So.
Were you charged?
I had to go to jail for like 5 days. They didn't call me to court, and then they just dropped everything because they found out that, nothing had happened.
So you were arrested for it, though?
I was arrested.
But not charged?
Because they had to take us both in, and then he's still going through court stuff in the jail. Yeah, everything, it's not even on my record. I don't know, I guess it's in reports, but...
It's on your record as an arrest.
Oh, okay. But I wasn't charged with anything.
Move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried.
Good luck.
Cornelius Williams.
I just wait for the...
Yes. It'll go to the council meeting on November 5th.
Okay.
Goes to the entire council.
Greg Bushbrook. Cornelius. All right, that's Cornelius.
Thank you.
This is second appearance. You didn't show up last time, right?
No, couple letter late.
Okay, this is a new license for Applebee's on Highway 100. And
Mr. Chairman.
Alderman Singleton.
Cornelius, I note that more than 10 years ago, 9-10 years ago, did have some problems, it appears. I know that was in Illinois. But all those were either no dispositions, dismissed. You have nothing involving drugs, nothing involving alcohol. Have you attended bar elsewhere before?
Yes.
And where is that?
Ricky's on State.
Okay. How long have you had that license?
6 months or so.
Still have it?
Yes, still current.
Yeah, well, you heard Alderman Weigel's summary in terms of what our city looks to, in terms of what carding people and the disruptions in Applebee's, and that's on my district. I really never had a call from anyone in terms of problem in Applebee's, but just make sure you card people and call 911 if there's a problem. Not held against you. Move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second? Yeah, I'd just like to say, you want to work with the police department. So if there's a problem goes on, don't try to handle it yourself, call the police. We don't hold it against either Applebee's or yourself. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Yes, I understood.
I didn't see.
Yeah, I think they walked in.
Somebody came in?
Yeah.
Is Courtney Bueller here? Courtney.
Okay. That's the next one.
Big thing.
Okay.
Didn't list anything.
Waggle.
Courtney, on your application, there's a question about being arrested.
I didn't even see that on there.
Well, you marked no. There's a check by the box that says no. See where that's highlighted in yellow?
Okay.
Okay, so have you ever been arrested?
All when I was under 21. Been in any charges since then.
An OWI in Columbia County?
Was it your jacket?
Yeah.
Bunch of other vehicle-related stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly traffic
So
violations.
you didn't see this question, but you still answered no to it?
I think I just ran through the application really quickly and I don't know. I didn't do it purposely. It's not like you guys weren't going to see my
Well,
record.
I think that when you're filling out an official document, you should read things more carefully, because there's actually a line above, just above your signature. It says, I declare under penalty of law that all the above information is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief.
Okay.
Incomplete or incorrect information may lead to denial of this license. And then right below that is, that's your signature, I'm going to guess, right?
Chairman?
Alderman Singstad.
Courtney, this is a relatively new application the city has been using for about the past year and a half, and we specifically framed this application so that it's understandable by anyone coming in making an application for a bartender's license. It does sometimes, when a person's not the most candid or goes not most candid, it goes against her character, and perhaps this is a life lesson. I'm going to support you on this, but I think what you should consider in applying for any job is list everything, because it's amazing what employers, with technology and all, can access these days. And you'd hate to lose a job in the future that perhaps is more of a full-time nature and it provides more for you in terms of what your needs are as you get older in life. But you had a DWI, and you had a lot of other vehicular violations, and that's just not good. This goes to responsibility and all that. If something goes wrong at Larry Michaels, you call the police department. You call 911. Don't give anybody the benefit of the doubt if they come and you take a look at their driver's license, and then maybe it looks good and you let them in. Because maybe it's false.
I could put a few underagers, not Larry Michaels.
Move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, under further discussion, I'd like to say, you have all these speeding, no insurance, unregistered vehicle, operating or registered suspension, and you look at that and say it's all nothing and everything. But what we look at is that your license is giving you a lot of rules and regulations. Now you don't pay attention to those, as you can see here. What makes us feel that you're going to pay attention to our rules and regulations that comes out along with your bartender's license, and that's why they're very important to us. So, is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
No.
Carries.
Just one last question before you walk out. Ann, when they apply for a license, isn't that one, don't the people that hand the applications point that out?
Yeah, nobody
Yes, but sometimes, I don't know if she came in to apply or if she took the application home with her or somebody picked it up for her. But yes, we do try to point that out.
It's pretty obvious, and I know when I fill out applications, and that's the first thing I saw. And when you came up, I'm going like, why didn't you put your stuff down? First thing that I saw is that you didn't fill out that part of it. So, it's so important when you fill out any kind of documents in the future that you do that stuff. You're going to get a renewal, you got to fill your stuff out.
Okay.
All right? Learn the lesson.
Thank you.
Sheila Hemick.
Yeah, this is the... Okay.
Back to the item number 2. Hello, Sheila. Okay, you're going to be taking over the creek.
No. I have it up for sale right now.
Oh, well, you're the
She's just renewing the license to make it more
Are you
available.
renewing it?
Yeah.
Okay, but
So you can sell it.
Yeah, we have an offer now. The broker I talked to this week, and there's an offer, and they are going through, the bank and everything is gone through. He said it should be finalized in December.
So you're reapplying for the license. So when you sell the business has a liquor license attached with
Yeah.
it. Got it.
Yeah, because my husband passed away, and I can't keep it going.
Yep.
Move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I have a question. Have all the personal property taxes and real estate taxes been paid? The building?
Those are going to be paid when we sell it. It's going to be taken out.
Yes. If we don't have if there's outstanding, we can't get the license approved unless there's some sort of payment plan.
Well-
Actually, we can't really get it approved until it's paid in full.
okay, you're saying, well, we can approve it, but we can't issue it.
Correct. That is, yeah.
Subject to.
Yeah, we can
Approval
approve
subject
it.
to.
Yeah, so it's approved,
You understand?
Subject to necessary requirements. One of the necessary requirements is that you have all your property tax and personal property taxes paid.
Understand that? We're approving it, but we just can't physically give you the license.
Yeah, which
Okay.
You're not operating, so really it's not that.
You're not operating right now, right?
No,
Locked
no,
up.
it's been closed since December.
Yeah.
If you're selling it and it's going to close in December, you're sitting okay.
Yeah,
But the license cannot be issued until the taxes are all taken care of, so you're clear of that, even to the new people.
Well, Mr. Chairman, the purchaser of the business of the property is going to have to come in, apply for the license anyway.
Right.
So at that time, we'll take care of it in one meeting.
Okay, any further discussion on this? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Jeff Strength.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So Jeff's first time.
Well, we'll wait till the end of the meeting then.
All right.
He's still not here, but let's just wait till the end of the meeting. Okay, then we have the Buzz's Nest. Then we had this, are they here? Yeah. Come on up. We had the discussion at the last council meeting during recess on the, the question was, have we ever give a extended premise license for serving alcohol outside? And the answer is yes. There's been, I believe, 5 different times we did it. Now, my understanding, I thought when we were giving it just for smoking, but extended premises mean they can bring alcohol outside, and it has the same. They serve the same food as they do at the Buzz's Nest also. So we have done it before. This is a little different. I think this is probably the most public one there is, being that it's right on the street and you have your neighbors right with you, and I ask you be very considerate to your neighbors. But that was why we held it.
When you're done,
and that's why we're here. So,
Mr. Chairman, in the past when these licenses have come in front of us, I have always said that these licenses should only be issued to a food operation. Some of them in the past that got approved, I didn't support because they had pizzas. My opinion, they should have a kitchen, number one. They should have a full menu, should have a dining area, and it's an extension, a dining extension. I have voted against every single one of them that were, if they were issued on those pretenses. I don't actually recall one being listed 100% that this is going to be a beer garden or an extension deck. I saw the email. I disagree with that. I think they came in and showed us menus. They showed us that they serve food in all the locations, including the Jock Stop. So I'm not going to support it. The rest of the members can do what they want, but my feeling still is that we're opening up a can of worms, and I said that a long time ago, that anytime we give an extension of premises, we're going to have every bar in West Dallas coming out wanting to put decks out for outdoor drinking and smoking. And I just oppose that. I'm not opposed to outdoor dining, not at all. And in fact, I encourage it. But when it comes to an extension of a bar, just so people can go out and smoke and drink, I cannot support that, and I'm not going to support this one.
Mr. Chairman?
all it seems to.
I do respect my colleague from the 3rd District. I understand where he's coming from. However, on these particular applications, I historically have voted the other way. I believe, and perhaps more so than this application and others, is that on the east end of West Dallas, we certainly need improvement. It's been a vacant spot for years. It's an eyesore. And I think part of a responsibility we have as a council is to take a look at, take a scales of justice as you may. What's better? What's worse? And that's to a certain extent the entrance of our city. Not totally, but people are going up and down 60th as a north and south throughway from Milwaukee down into the suburbs. And at least when I looked at this particular gentleman's application, I know what he's going to be serving and what type of business it's going to be. We do have patios that serve beer, serve beverages. I voted in favor of those before. Up by me, we have Aries. I've always supported that. I've supported something similar to what Aries has in the 3rd District. It's the Brass Monkey. There are a number of others. I think there was a place on 98th in Greenfield, north side. I've supported that. But I just think that we have to take a look at the development, and that's part of what we all are looking to in terms of representing the city as developing areas that have been for years and years and years vacant. And here we have a couple as coming in from Chicago. As I understand it to be, they are going to be residing at the premises. They're going to be injecting substantial monies on their own into the rehabilitation of this. And I think there's nothing but positive to that the city and the adjacent area is going to benefit by virtue of approving this license. Now, that aside, presupposing, sir, that you do that the council grants a license, you still have to go in front of the Safety Development Committee, as I understand it to be. Or they vote in favor? How they vote for that?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yeah,
So they vote in favor of it? Okay. So, and having said that, and we know of courtesy to Alderman Barzak, he was out of town last week. This was held up, but the last council meeting I voted, as I'm going to recommend tonight, I'll move that this be granted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Yes, Alderman. Just to piggyback on a little bit what you said with Aries and Brass Monkey, both of those are food courts, and I supported both of those too. They have phenomenal patios actually, and they serve food. Full service restaurant, full kitchen, and they serve food on those. And I have supported any extension with the serving of food, and again, I encourage that. But I just have a problem with somebody taking a bar and putting on a smoking deck and allowing drinking out there. I don't have a problem with somebody taking a smoking deck and putting it out there, but you can't drink out there. I have no problem with that. They can do that all day long. But I'm just saying, it's no offense to you, but with the city as a whole, we're opening up a can of worms, and we're going to run ourselves into some trouble in the very near future. So with that, again, I'm not going to support it. To me, they're reserved for food courts or food places.
Just keep the worms in the can.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman,
when you were in front of us last week,
Yes.
we talked about hours,
Yes.
and you told us
They told us basically.
how late you
we're
told
looking at
this
10
committee
o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, we're looking at 10 o'clock.
But if I read safety developments
Right.
correctly,
they granted it.
they granted midnight.
No,
Yeah.
11. So it was 11.
What did they grant?
I believe 11.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we're clear on the hours.
No, our primary focus is more during the daytime hours where we can create an area where people can just sit there, relax, and essentially, if they want to read, having one of our, we have some of these signature cocktails, things like that. We're not focused at the night. Night is not our primary focus on this.
Well, that's good.
So,
But
do we have somebody from development here? Patrick, do you know what it is off the top of your head? No? 11. It's 11 p.m.?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're clear.
I think they're standard.
No, they're not. They go from 10 to midnight. 10, 11 to midnight is what we have in the past. I just want to make sure that we're clear on that too. So,
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, next we have, now, is this from you, Jenna, the number 11 here, discussion?
Actually, it's not for me,
No, it's from me.
but I have updates on it too. I talked to Ted prior to the meeting, so.
Are we going to discuss it
Craig's
now,
here.
Mr. Chairman? Craig Bushberger?
Craig's here if you want to talk.
Craig, come on down. Craig Bushberger, whatever.
Okay, what
we discuss?
What do we?
We don't really need him for anything. He's just going to let us.
Licenses that were granted back in June, that still haven't been issued because they've had outstanding
Okay.
different things.
So your license hasn't been issued yet because you're still working on your place?
Yeah, hopefully when it's open on the 4th.
Okay.
Ted said he's been talking with him, and apparently things are going well. So there isn't, it's not completed yet or sold or approved by building inspection, but everything's like cooperation-wise, so.
Okay.
Keep it up.
That's it? That's it?
You don't have any invitations to the grand opening party?
I wish I knew the date for sure. I'd have them here. Thank you.
Okay, and all these other ones on here, well, none of these people were asked to appear, were they?
Well, they were asked to appear, but they all satisfied their outstanding requirements and
Excellent.
So it looks good for all three of those.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Except for M&M, there's still some building code issues. Ted is requesting that Mario Morghese has asked for a loan that the loan documents be submitted by November 15th to development.
Okay, so, well, that's separate of us, but, okay.
Well, it may not be separate of us.
It's a condition prior to him granting an extension for the building code
But
violation.
he's asking for the loan as the landlord or as...
Oh, as the landlord.
Okay, because it's not his business, not supposed to be his business. It's
Correct.
not supposed to have anything to do with the business.
He owns, I think he still owns the property.
Yes.
Right, he owns the
Yeah.
property. Okay, so what action did you want us to take on this? Do we,
I think we just put it on hold and then place it on the next, for whatever the next License and Health meeting is, and see if they've submitted those documents by November 15th.
okay.
What about Liliana Lusick?
Ted wasn't really aware of that one, so I'm not sure if they're all in compliance. Have you heard anything else, Ann, since
He
then?
came down to see me about 4:30 this afternoon and gave me building inspection sheet with the approval on it.
Okay, so then nothing else with him then?
Okay, and the only other thing was the kitchen.
Vanny's Kitchen is ready to be issued tomorrow.
Okay, so, do we hold this, place this whole thing on file, or?
What do you want, Ian, to place it on file?
It's just a discussion item, so you can place it on.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That carries. Now we have, let's see, 12 and 13. Susan Jesse?
And I can advise the committee that I did send a stipulation to Attorney Pizek. We are in agreement. There's just one thing that he wants to ask the committee in regards to with Scott being in the premises and removing some property from the garage.
We don't have we don't have a problem with the agreement as far as him not on the licensed premises, the building, what's upstairs, what's downstairs, but there's a detached garage. He's apparently emptied his cottage out up north, and he's storing personal property items in the garage. He's rented out one of the bays. Apparently it's a 4-bay garage off of the alley.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, okay. So we're just I'm asking on behalf of my client that he be at least allowed to take things in and out of the garage, but that's the limits of his being on the premises. And then the only other question I had with Jenna, and I think she makes reference to an effective date of the agreement, and I don't know if the effective date will be your council meeting on the 5th, or if it's the effective date of this agreement starting November 8th, which would be a Friday night at midnight.
And I know it's not actually submitted to the council, the stipulation, but basically what the stipulation states is that no alcoholic beverages will be served for 14 consecutive days, commencing on Friday, November 8th at 12:01 a.m. and terminating at 12:01 a.m. on November 22nd. Scott Jesse will not be permitted to be present at any time on the premises at 6500 West Greenfield Avenue from the date of this agreement and permanently thereafter. That the 6500 bar will update its licenses with the city to reflect its proper legal name by November 1st, and that it will properly update its corporate registration with the Department of Financial Institutions by November 1st.
And we've got that in the works. We've got the application. It's at $250. When you don't send the annual report in, it gets to a point where they just put it like it's stalemated out. And
dissolution.
That's exactly right, Alderman Weigel. And that's what happened. She wasn't aware of it until actually it was brought to our attention through the complaint. And when she looked into it with your CPA, that's what they found out. So that we're all set to go with that.
I don't have a problem with him going into the garage as long as he doesn't go into the premises. I don't know how the rest of the committee feels.
Period. Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel?
I guess what difference does it make when this Scott's limitations to access to the property begins? Does it matter to you guys if it starts effective tomorrow or November 8th? I mean, is there something else there he needs to do on the property?
He's got some tools and that stuff in the basement that he needs to get out of there, and that's why we don't want to run amok of any dates, okay? So it's just a matter of getting that stuff
does he
cleared
have a
out.
full-time job that prevents him from doing that, say, tomorrow during the day, or?
I don't know, I'll have to look.
Is he incredibly busy that he
My
would?
furnace needs repair, and he's going to repair it for me. I
So
know he had
this
the
isn't
money
just
to
about
pay
him getting some
somebody.
stuff off the property. He's still doing work on the property.
And I said, and see, that's why I want to know the exact date, because I said when that date, he better have it repaired by then, or you better get a different repairman, because he's not going to be allowed to go on the premises. Plain and simple.
Yes.
And that's why I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with the right date. Okay, so somebody doesn't walk in there and say, hey, what's he doing here? He's not supposed to be here. And then we run afoul of this committee. And I don't want that to happen.
Mr. Chairman?
All in sync, Doc.
You know, Susan, I was really disappointed. I unfortunately was not at the last committee meeting. You know, you're represented by a very able council. And, you know, I don't know, I can't remember anybody else that in the last number of years that we've seen so often. You're coming down with all those problems. Yes, it does have to do with your son, but we have to have some control over him. And I know we're talking about date here, but I don't want to have to see it have to come out with Roger again to this, because something happened that he couldn't get the air conditioning or the heating completed, the installation completed, repair work completed. You know, you're taking this committee's time up, and you're taking your attorney's time up, and you know, I'll go along with whatever the city attorney is recommending, as she's worked out with Attorney Pizek. But you just got to get more of a control over what is happening. And you know, when the license is valued at something, it's a business for you.
I understand.
I just want to see you.
Alderman Singstock, those words were echoed already by me to her, and I said, obviously, it isn't difficult to follow the rules, and why Scott, first of all, would be on the premises smoking when he knows he can't do that, even if it didn't have synthetic marijuana, or synthetic, I shouldn't say, but synthetic stuff in there. Smoking alone is a violation. It's a simple rule. What's the problem with following the simple rule? And he just, for some reason, doesn't get the program. And she's suffering, and I relayed this to Jenna, that she is actively looking to sell the establishment, but obviously nobody's got the money to buy it, and everybody wants to buy it on a land contract. And as her legal advisor, I'm saying, I don't know if you want to do it on a land contract, because you risk the chance of getting it back, or somebody that's got it on a land contract jazzes it up, and now you don't have a license. And that's why my advice to her is, don't sell it on a land contract. But just a sideline.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to disagree a little bit that the places, because I know a couple in my district have sold pretty quickly. I have one that's not selling so quickly. And it's all based on perceived value.
Sure.
What do you perceive that it's worth, and, you know, et cetera. The taverns obviously are not selling for what they did 15 years ago.
Question about it.
There's people that think they're worth more than they did 15 years ago. Well, they're going to sit on them. So, you know, there's some that did sell, and they sold rather quickly.
Sure.
They sold for a nice little price, you know, so it can be sold.
Sure. She's just trying to cover the mortgage, if she could get that out of it, Alderman Barzik.
Right.
See, and that sometimes might have been a bigger chunk to bite off than what it might be worth or somebody's willing to pay.
And I'm not familiar, was it refinanced? Was there, you know, cars borrowed against it? I don't know.
No,
but
nothing like that. It was to do the improvements on it that put her into that structure, and that's why.
Any other discussion?
Jenna, what do you recommend here?
Can he get his tools and stuff out of there by November 5th?
Okay.
Except for the garage, I know that.
If you, hey, we're happy to be that.
And fix the furnace.
It's got to be fixed, and if it's not, somebody else has got to fix it. I agree. We'll take.
He's only effective November 5th. He's only in the garage.
That's fine. We'll accept the kindness on that.
Stepped in to use the bathroom.
You know what, Alderman? I've said that to her. I said none of this. I had to use the bathroom, so I just ran in. I said, there's no excuse. He has no business. And Jim, you know me. I said it out straight. No means no. And don't come back with an excuse, well, you know, there was a fire going on. Well, then call the fire department. Let them handle it. And it seems simplistic to say that, but that's where we're coming from.
So we have the agreement worked out, Jenna?
You're saying the 5th because of the council meeting, or?
Right, it can't go into effect until then anyway, so.
Right, okay.
By 5th, midnight on the 5th. Okay, all right.
Got to fix the furnace now anyways, it's cold.
Okay, so we're
question,
just
no.
gonna hold these until,
Well, I think you can approve the stipulation, which I can give that, I'll sign it and just submit it with Ann, if just subject to those amendments, those corrections, if that's fine with the committee.
we don't have a stipulation.
Oh, I have it, I can give it to you when it's,
It'll have to be jacketed for the council meeting.
okay.
Okay.
And Jenna,
We just have the police report and the summons and complaint.
Okay,
she did pay for the food license in June 18th
okay.
of 219, 290, I think she said. But if you want her to email a copy of the,
Hang
okay.
on to it.
The second question, are you okay with Scott being in the garage, or is there?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Everybody else
Is that
okay with
everyone?
it?
Just the garage.
Yep,
The
thank you.
garage clear as,
Okay, I'll put that in there.
very clear again, that,
Put that in there.
You know what? There's, the garage is the garage. Let's hope that he can at least know the boundaries of the garage.
Right.
Yeah.
Smoking allowed in the garage?
If you gotta put a sandbox in it.
Not if there are cans of gasoline in there, I hope not.
So why just hold us until the...
Yeah, we'll hold those until
First meeting of
everything is
November.
signed, then we just vote on everything. So,
Okay.
thanks for coming.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Jenna, when do you want us to sign that?
I'll just correct it and then I'll just send it to you.
You'll get it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Take care.
Okay.
Thank you, you too. Thank you.
Jeffrey Stannard? Is this his first time?
So we'll give him a second chance on the...
Okay, so we're gonna hold that, yeah, and just call him in again.
Move adjournment, Mr. Chairman.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You wanna sit here?
Who's got a half address, 239 and a